Welcome back. Christmas time is a special time for families, a time for sharing and counting your blessings. A tragedy, though, can really strike at any time without warning. It doesn't matter who you are or where you live.
Absolutely. Troy and Holly Dexter started 1994 with everything going great. Two beautiful children and a nice house in the suburbs. Troy was a busy studio musician, and Holly had successfully launched a line of children's clothing. They seemed to have it all.
Their first brush with disaster came in January. Watch.
The devastating Northridge earthquake and its aftermath crippled the supply lines to Holly's business, but she vowed to fight back. And then, a few days before Thanksgiving, a frightening few minutes in the middle of a cold night changed their lives in a way they never imagined. Suddenly, the family that seemed to have everything had nothing.
3 members of the Woodland Hills family are recovering from smoke inhalation tonight after a house fire that sent them fleeing into the cold night air. This time, an electrical problem is believed to be the cause of the fire. Water-dropping helicopters were brought in.
We got out of here, and the arson guys and the fire department said, "How did you do it? People do not walk away from this."
Troy and Holly invited me to join them on their first trip back to their house together.
Oh, my.
They relived their narrow escape with their son, Taylor. Thankfully, their daughter, Kristen, was safe with friends on the night of the fire.
It's an incredible thing. I mean, me and Holly and my son and God were an incredible team. At about an hour and a half before the fire, Holly got up to go sleep with my son Taylor in his room because he was getting over a cold, and she just wanted to check on and make sure that he was okay. And thank God that she did, because when it hit and when I got up and I opened my bedroom door, there was no way I could go 10 feet down the hall to get to them. It was 1,000 degrees. Started screaming and Holly and help, where are you, where are you? I tried to figure out where she was, and I could like kind of barely hear her, kind of like gagging. I'm in the, doing this kind of thing. I opened my bedroom door. It was, billowing black smoke. I just got blown back, shut the door, and windows were blowing out and everything, and I jumped from this. I jumped from this balcony.
Did you hear Troy at this point?
I heard him scream. I knew from the sound of his voice something was wrong, and I jumped up and opened the door, and it was like, just came, blew in at me, and I just turned around, grabbed my son, and ran for the window, and I was holding him out the window because he couldn't breathe.
Oh.
And then I jumped out.
There was a rapid billowing black smoke coming out of this window, and all I saw were his 2 little feet hanging out of the cloud of smoke. Holly was holding him out of there. And I just said, drop him, and I was there, and I caught him.
There was a moment when you were all together waiting for the fire department to arrive.
Yeah.
And as you stand there on the driveway watching your life go up in smoke, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I just looked at her. She was kind of hysterical, and I just kind of grabbed him as we were walking across the street, and I said, "It's okay. You're an angel. You saved yourself. You saved my son. We have our family. Let it burn. We'll come back stronger." And those were my feelings.
The Dexters escaped barefoot into the night, but they lost more than their household possessions. They were both self-employed with home-based businesses. Holly was a designer of children's clothing. This is what remains of her samples, her patterns, and her financial records. This was Troy's music recording studio.
Let's talk about insurance. How much of your loss was covered?
Nothing.
As you sum up what has happened to you, your 2 greatest gifts, I guess, would be your children.
Yes, I mean, our gift is our second chance at sweet life.
Mm-hmm. So you will have a Merry Christmas.
We'll definitely
You
have a
bet we
Merry
will.
Christmas.
You bet we will.